we don't have this huge over leveraged group
Well,
of people out there who are all suffering. You got a bunch of people who are just like watching the equity grow and just like, they're paying what? Like I just sold on my street for a price that's like the highest price ever. And like, I'm sure my neighbors who are all old are all sitting there going like, I paid $200,000 for this thing 30 years
sure.
ago. Like, what do you mean he paid that number for that property, right? And
Yeah,
that's something that
and I think that's the norm. So like this idea like the bubble is gonna burst or whatever, like it's, for lack of a better term, it's people who want it to burst so they can be opportunistic.
Didn't it
But
burst? Isn't this like didn't it burst already? Is
I
it going to
think
burst again? Is this going to happen again soon?
I
the
think
renewal
technically
crisis,
it did
Daryl.
it.
Come on,
Yeah,
keep
no, the
up.
renewal crisis.
I thought
I
we
don't think
had
it
our
technically crashed.
burst.
No, it was. I think
Didn't it?
technically you have to be 20% down from whatever the peak price is. We've got
Wait, a
to
correction.
18
If
or
you're in
19. What a
Durham,
correction.
hold on. If
Correction.
you live in Durham at a certain point in time, that thing crashed. No, Bancroft crashed. Like all these places
Bancroft's
went
not
down
in
more
Durham,
than 20.
But
I saw
there were places that
Toronto
had
was
a major
18.
adjustment. Yeah.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
major crashes all over
Yeah.
the place. So hold on a sec. So do you think that could happen again? That's not even a crash. Hold on a sec. Just do you think we
let's
could
ask
see a
Dennis.
correction?
Then paint a picture in the most bearish of mindsets. How would a crash happen in Toronto? What would have to happen knowing everything that you know? Give us a scenario just to please the people in the comments here. This is what they want to hear this. And yes, we'll make a short of this.
Immigration stops because Canada's afraid of immigrants taking all their jobs. And then we have less immigrants, and then there's a demand for workers, and then the increase in prices allow people to buy stuff. And then at that point, because there's no immigration, higher wages, people can move around with the higher income. And then
higher income.
No,
hold on a
yeah.
sec. But people, how much do you need?
We got.
No, I'm saying
the whole story
because the income will go up. It gives them flexibility to move around so they can buy stuff, but then they won't necessarily need to because their options open up, right? And then you have the crazy inflation scare that everyone's afraid of right now, and they don't get it under control. So nobody wants to lend anymore. And then the banks, their loan loss provisions get really out of hand, and then they can't lend anymore. Then you have no liquidity and you can't buy unless you're buying all cash. And then boom, there's your crash. You have a massive price discovery downwards where nobody is, for lack of a better term, left holding the bag. Nobody wants to buy in Toronto, even though they have income, and they go somewhere else. And Toronto's a derelict city.
How dare you? Oh.
The question is, do you let it happen?
Yeah. Very low chance, right? Very low chance, right? Of all that stuff. The government just refuses to let it happen. They refuse. They're just like, this is everyone's, I can give you, all other things being equal. I can tell you a scenario why the market's going to crash next month, but the banks and the government are just too heavily invested. There's a bunch of people talking about, they don't want the housing ministers to be allowed to have rental properties. They don't want politicians. And like, there's just too many people invested in this to ever let it go down.
So how much higher can wages actually get, like, to afford the houses as prices go up, as we all think they are? Like, look right now, how much do you need to afford like a shitty house?
I think it's over. Like, people always think people are doing 20% down, like the minimum amount they can, but most people buying your average home aren't doing 20% down. So like TK, if the average home is 1.2 million as of like May 2023 at the end of the stats, right? Nobody's going in with like, $200,000 and getting a million mortgage. Most people are selling in their home that's like worth $500,000-$600,000, pouring it over and maybe getting a $600,000-$700,000 mortgage, right? So they're like 35-40% down in it. So they're not that exposed, right? They just need the more space.
Hold on a sec. What just happened there? So, but you're saying somebody sold a house for 1.2 and then bought a house for 1.2?
No, someone sold their condo for like $600-$700, and they bought the average home of 1.2
with no leverage on it.
Well, they might have had a little bit, but regardless, is what he's trying to say is that if they were just buying one home at $1 million, then it's like, oh my gosh, $1 million home, that's such a big purchase. But because they're selling for 800 and they're buying for $1 million, they're not looking at what price am I paying. And we were talking about this a lot of years ago.
That's not even realistic.
They're
Who
buys their
sells
monthly
for 800?
payment.
If you're selling, I know, but your monthly payment just went up by 4% on your mortgage. Like, this is
maybe they had a lower interest rate.
You blend and extend a lot of times. Yeah, it's very normal. Like the one person, I think this year off the top of my head, that did buy their first home being $1 million, they had $600,000 cash.
How?
Right?
That's
parents.
First, yeah. Bank of mom and dad for sure on that.
Bank of mom and dad. That's it.
Who has
right?
the
So,
patience to save 600K before they buy?
I-
Nobody.
Who could do that?
Nobody. If they
Like,
could,
how
it's
does that
like
even
20 years later,
work?
they would have bought
Right.
in that time. They were better off buying 10 years ago with 50 grand down.
Yeah, so
Okay.
no one's maxing out the loan to value. And that's the assumption I think all the
Well, but-
bears are making, that the loan to values are maxed out. Like, yeah, there are going to be some people who have maxed out loan to value because they push the limit. But most people right now, after what we went through, aren't pushing the limit.
So how much is that $600,000 mortgage now at 5 something percent?
Like $3,000 or so?
3,600, yeah.
There you go, yeah.
$3,600. Not that bad. When I got my first mortgage, I thought it was crazy, and it was like $1,200 a month. $3,600 a month for an average shitty fucking house. This is crazyville.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.